You're scrolling through Reddit and stumble across a brutally honest post. If I could do it again, I wouldn't get married. Wait, what? Isn't marriage supposed to be the ultimate symbol of love, commitment, and happiness? We dug through Reddit threads, Quora confessions, YouTube comments, and public polls to uncover the raw truth. Do people actually regret getting married? The internet had a lot to say, and it's more divided than you might think. Let's dive into the internet's verdict. The fairy tale starts early. From childhood, we're shown weddings as magical, marriage as the goal, the happily ever after. Movies, social media, and even family push the idea that finding the one will complete your life. But online? Many people are peeling back the curtain, and what they reveal is far from romantic. Unmet expectations, communication breakdowns, financial stress, infidelity, emotional disconnect. Some say marriage didn't make them happy, it made them feel stuck. And once you're in, getting out isn't always easy. Now, let's look at how people reacted online, starting with the Reddit, subreddits marriage and TrueOffMyChest. One Redditor wrote, "Oh, not one bit. Don't get me wrong, my husband and I have our tough times. But I knew marriage would have its ups and downs before I said, I do. My vows mean something to me. I never expected it to be a cakewalk. That said, we ultimately complement and support each other in ways that make life so much easier. We were together for 5 years before getting married, and we lived together before tying the knot, so there were no surprises once we made it official." To everyone agreeing with this, I imagine they married someone before truly getting to know them. Maybe they weren't compatible, or perhaps they're not the type to compromise and work through relationship challenges. Marriage takes commitment from both sides in order to work. If people are complaining about how much they hate and regret their marriage on Reddit, it's likely because they gave up long ago or never really had the tools to make it work. Don't worry. Everyone needs alone time and their own space. This doesn't mean marriage was the wrong choice. My husband and I have our own separate spaces and hobbies, and we give each other the space we need. Part of being in a relationship with someone is respecting their individuality and acknowledging them as a whole person. Another user added, "We just got married a year ago. Nothing egregious has happened, but I felt that my husband took me for granted for a while. This never happened while we were just dating, but now he forgets our dates, our makeup dates for the ones he forgot, and when I would politely confront him about it, he would get mad at me for being upset. Throughout the year, we've been having big fights, mostly about how I haven't been feeling heard or appreciated. He didn't help with the wedding at all, and I started to have second thoughts even back then because I had really imagined our wedding would be something we'd do together. We argued a lot about this, and we went to therapy for it. In general, my attraction to him is waning. I don't even want to be intimate anymore because I feel like our emotional connection has plummeted. We've gone to therapy over this too, but it hasn't improved much. My husband doesn't pressure me into it, but he has voiced his disappointment in the frequency of intimacy we have. We've had physical intimacy maybe once every 2 to 3 months this past year. I recently went abroad for work for a few months and noticed that I was actually relieved to be away from him and all the arguing. He's a decent person and thoughtful in other areas of our relationship, but I've been feeling disconnected from him and don't look forward to returning. Is my marriage doomed already? Or does this happen sometimes early in marriages? Regretting getting married, but we've only been married for a year." Another shared, "I regret getting married. I feel stuck in a never-ending cycle of stress. I work 40 hours a week, have a baby, and I'm doing a master's program until August 2025. I should have chosen better, and now I feel trapped. I love what I do, I love my master's program, and I love my baby, but all of this has made me fall out of love with my husband. All I've asked for is an equal partnership. I don't feel like we have one, or even an equitable one. I spend 40 hours at work, then drive 2 hours a day for my commute. When I get home, I either have to start cleaning or do homework for my master's program. It's an endless cycle, and I feel like I have no time for anything else, let alone any time for myself. I've had COVID this past week and have been working from home, which cuts down on the commute, but I still feel like I have no time for myself. I've been begging my husband for years to help me with the cleaning. He'll help for maybe 10 minutes, and then take a break for the rest of the day unless I start screaming at him. It feels like I need to yell for him to do anything, and I'm tired of it. Why can't he just act like a grown-up and pitch in? He says he's tired and depressed, but so am I. I've been having ongoing panic attacks due to my PTSD, but I keep pushing through. It feels like it's never ending. Tonight, it all came to a head when I was cleaning the room by myself and asked him for help. He helped for maybe 5 minutes, then sat back down and said, "You're in pain, honey. You need to lay down and rest. You're sick." But I can't rest. If I do, the rooms won't get done, my paper won't get written, and it will just pile up. He said he'd get it done tomorrow, but at this point, I don't believe him anymore. I'm exhausted. Between all this and the way his family treats me, along with my constant need for respect, I just can't keep going. Our baby is 8 months old, and my husband wants another child soon. I do too, but I can't see having another one with him. I don't even know why I chose him anymore. Another added, "I was married for about 11 years. That marriage saw 2 separations, a reconciliation, and ultimately a divorce, all initiated by her. I don't regret getting married, as I loved my now ex-wife deeply. But life's road has its twists and turns, and sometimes it flings you into a ditch. After she left the first time, I started dating someone else after a few months. Then, my wife wanted back in. I insisted on marriage counseling, and we dated for months before deciding to try again. Fast forward 2 years, she leaves again, and now she's with a woman. In hindsight, that explains so much. Do I regret getting married? Not at all. I loved her at the time. But I should have trusted my gut and not agreed to reconcile. I had a feeling something was off, but I loved her, so we got back together. At the time, I had no idea she was a lesbian. While I'm glad she's now living her authentic life and is happy with her new partner, I do resent feeling like I was used. Especially when she wanted to reconcile. I feel like my marriage was built on a lie, and it feels like a huge waste of time. I'm still a bit bitter about that, though I'm in a much more peaceful place being divorced. Even if she hadn't been gay, I'm not sure we would have lasted much longer. Here's to the future." Another user added, "I am 34 female, and my husband, 30 male, got married last August. Overall, we've been in a somewhat good, okay phase compared to other phases, but I'm not sure if the issue is me, if I hold grudges too tightly, but there are things I just can't forgive or forget. I can't forgive that, after years of asking him to help us eat healthier because I needed to lose weight, he never made any effort. Eventually, he told me that he was no longer attracted to me. I can't forgive that. When I was going through a depressive phase, strangers showed me more compassion than he did. I can't forgive that, on the night of our wedding celebration, after a lot of drinking, he ruined the night because he was livid that I went to a food cart just a few feet away to get something to eat, after our party, simply because I didn't inform him. And then, when we got to the hotel, he took off his ring. I can't get past the fact that, on my last birthday, he made no effort to plan something or make the day special, even though he knew how important that is to me and how tired I am of planning everything. Tomorrow will mark 7 years since we officially got together, and I asked him to plan a dinner, something romantic and intimate. He put little effort into it, choosing the first restaurant he saw. When I reminded him of the romantic, intimate request, he said he'd look into it, but he didn't. And then he got pissy when I asked twice if he had found any other options. I've always wanted someone who wants to make plans for us, who wants to invest in quality time, who takes pleasure in making me happy with a surprise, and who will take that weight off my shoulders. He's not a bad guy, but I wonder if I'm just not the right person for him. If, with the right person, he'd actually enjoy being more attentive, more engaged. I need to come to terms with the fact that this is the way he is, and decide if this is what I want for myself. I don't think I do. On Quora, one user wrote, "Marriage is work, constant, emotional, exhausting work. I regret not realizing that before saying I do." Others take a more nuanced view. "I don't regret getting married. I regret not choosing someone I was actually compatible with." In YouTube comment sections under relationship advice videos, the same theme echoes. "I love my spouse, but sometimes I miss being free, not having to compromise on every little decision." People glamorize weddings. They don't talk about the daily grind of being married. A 2022 YouGov poll in the US found that 17% of married individuals said they regret getting married. A 2021 study by AVU found that 2/3 of divorced people said they regretted not ending their marriage sooner. Meanwhile, Google Trends shows spikes in searches like unhappy in marriage, regret getting married, and is divorce worth it, especially around holidays and after big life events. But here's the twist: many also search for how to save a marriage, suggesting not all regret means the end, some just want change. Why regret happens. Regret in marriage isn't always about the person. Sometimes, it's about timing, pressure, or unrealistic expectations. Some common triggers: getting married too young, lack of communication, growing apart, financial stress, mental health challenges, societal/family pressure to settle down. Many people admit they didn't really understand what marriage meant. They just followed a script. So what are people really saying? Pros of marriage: deep companionship and emotional support, shared goals and stability, building a life together, legal and financial benefits. Cons people mentioned: loss of independence, emotional and financial strain, unrealistic expectations, resentment and disconnect over time. So, do people regret getting married? Here's the internet's verdict. Yes, some absolutely do. But for many, the regret isn't about love, it's about unmet expectations, communication breakdowns, and not being ready. And others? They say marriage has been the most rewarding, meaningful decision of their lives. The truth? Marriage isn't good or bad, it's what you make of it. And that makes all the difference. Now it's your turn. Do you think people should wait longer to get married? Or is marriage just not for everyone? Drop your thoughts in the comments, we're listening. And don't forget to subscribe for more brutally honest deep dives into what people really think. Because next time, we're taking on another controversial question from the internet.